The coffee was hot. It was meant to be a simple prank. But the second the dark stream of liquid hit her uniform, Private Cole Warren's entire life flashed before his eyes. He didn't know the terrible, catastrophic mistake he'd just made. He was completely unaware of the rank she truly held or the power she commanded. This is the moment a small, reckless joke turned into a career-ending disaster that would teach a young soldier the hardest lesson of his life. You're about to see the kind of silence that breaks a man. It was a scorching afternoon on a remote desert base. The sun beat down relentlessly, making the air shimmer with heat. Every surface was dusted with sand. The only thing hotter than the air was the boredom. Drill breaks were the only temporary salvation, and laughter was the only currency. A small group of young, cocky soldiers gathered near the mess tent. They traded crude jokes and loud stories, trying to kill the endless minutes before the next drill. Standing among them was Private Cole Warren. Cole saw himself as the camp's resident jokester, a legend in his own mind. He had that smirk, the kind that drew others in and dared them to laugh along, even when they knew a line was about to be crossed. He lived for the reckless laugh. He craved the immediate attention. Then a new figure appeared in the coffee line, a woman in her late 30s. Her uniform was clean, but utterly plain. Her cap was pulled low over her eyes. She stood quietly, observing the chaos around her with an unsettling calmness. She didn't talk. She didn't boast. She didn't engage in the casual banter. She was focused, unmoving, and perfectly still. Cole instantly saw a challenge. He saw an easy mark. "Who's the new recruit?" he joked loudly, making sure everyone heard him. "Looks way too serious for boot camp." His buddies chuckled nervously, their eyes flicking toward the quiet woman who gave no reaction at all. Cole felt a surge of adrenaline. He needed a bigger reaction. He grabbed his mug of steaming black coffee. It was full. It was piping hot. Without a word, he stepped silently behind her. No one tried to stop him. The others knew Cole's boundaries were non-existent. He tilted the cup back quickly. The dark, burning stream poured out. It soaked her hair instantly. It ran down the back of her neck and soaked the collar of her uniform, leaving a growing, wet patch across her shoulder blades. The group erupted. Cole laughed the loudest, pumping his fist. "Lighten up," he yelled, "just breaking in the new recruit." But the laughter died quickly. It faded to a nervous silence. She didn't scream. She didn't spin around in a rage. She didn't even flinch badly. She just paused. Her jaw tightened just a little. She took a slow, deep breath, steadying herself. Then she turned, slowly, calmly. Her eyes were locked onto Cole's, and the stillness in her gaze was more terrifying than any shout. The desert air itself seemed to freeze. "Private," she said. Her voice was even, low, deadly quiet. "What is your name?" Cole's reckless smirk vanished. His confidence evaporated. "Cole Warren, ma'am." He could barely get the words out. She nodded once, slowly. "Good," she replied. "You'll remember it when I write the report." The soldiers around them exchanged panicked glances. "A report," muttered one of the guys. Then the tent flap opened. The base commander, a stern, imposing colonel, emerged and stopped cold. His eyes went from the silent, coffee-soaked woman to Cole's pale face. The colonel's own face went instantly white. Pure, unadulterated fear flashed across his features. "Admiral Pierce," he whispered. His voice was tight with shock. "Ma'am, I was not informed you arrived early." The word Admiral hit the yard like a physical blow. It cracked through the silence like thunder. The group's frozen laughter died completely. Cups dropped to the sand. Cole's heart didn't just sink, it plummeted right through his boots. He stood there, suddenly drenched not in coffee, but in guilt and fear. He had poured steaming black coffee on a decorated admiral. He had humiliated the highest-ranking officer to ever visit their division. The Admiral didn't look at the Colonel. She kept her gaze fixed on Cole. The silence was endless. Even the dry wind seemed to stop. She took a single powerful step closer. The coffee stain still glistened on her uniform. "Private Warren," she said. Her voice remained soft, but it carried the weight of everything she represented. "When you wear this uniform, every single act reflects the Navy." Her words were a scalpel, not a hammer. "That includes how you treat those you know nothing about." Cole couldn't speak. He just stood there, his face burning hotter than the desert sun. She then looked at the surrounding soldiers who were still frozen in position. "Laughter is easy," she told them. "Discipline is harder. Remember which one keeps you alive." Without another word, she turned her back on them and walked toward a waiting command jeep. She left behind absolute silence and a young soldier completely undone. Cole watched her go, the woman he'd mocked moments ago, now commanding the very ground he stood on. That night, Cole couldn't sleep. The sound of that coffee hitting her uniform replayed over and over. It burned through his mind like a guilt he knew he could never wash away. The next morning, before the sun had even fully risen, he was at the mess tent. He wasn't there to laugh. He was there to apologize. He waited. When she passed by, he stood straight. He snapped to attention. His voice was steady but low. "Ma'am," he said, "I was wrong. I'm sorry." She stopped. She glanced at him, her eyes searching his for a moment. Then she nodded, a single brief acknowledgement. "Then, learn from it," she replied. "That's what soldiers do." She walked on, leaving him with the true meaning of leadership. Respect, she taught him, isn't earned by power or position. It's earned by humility after failure. That kindness, that simple decency doesn't vanish. It waits, and it always finds its way back. Somewhere on that desert base, one soldier will never, ever forget the day he threw coffee on an admiral and finally understood what the uniform really meant. This story shows how a single moment of arrogance can lead to a lifetime of wisdom. It reminds us that the quietest person in the room often holds the most power. Have you ever learned a hard lesson the embarrassing way? Tell us your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true stories of humility, power, and the shocking secrets people keep hidden.